Today on the show, we have to talk about the fact that Rockstar just buffed one of their newer DLC content activities with the Oscar Guzman Flies Again content update that we got just last week. We have a money bonus this week that will allow you to earn anywhere from $500,000 an hour to over that, way over that, depending on how much you want to farm the game this week. Super good for making money. So if you guys are looking for some of the fastest and easiest ways to farm money in GTA Online for this week, well, you've come to the right place because we have some good stuff. Now, to quickly go over the opportunities we have before we jump into the specifics here, let's talk about those. The money bonuses for this week are double money and RP on the Oscar Guzman arms trafficking missions, basically the Oscar Guzman Flies Again, or excuse me, not the Flies Again, but just the side content that you could do by calling up Oscar from your phone or starting the Oscar work at your Mackenzie Airfield hangar. We also have double money and RP on the Junk Energy Skydives, as well as 3 times money and RP on Community Series jobs. What we're going to be focusing on today is the Oscar Guzman arms trafficking missions, so let's check them out. Now, before we can even get started with the grind this week, this may be sad for some to hear, but you do have one prerequisite, and that is owning the new Mackenzie hangar, which you can find up here in Grapeseed. Of course, you can click on it, you can buy it. I forget how much it is. It's like 1.475 million or something like that. There's no upgrades, modifications, none of that, but you do get extra aircraft storage and you can begin the Oscar work missions. So what we're going to do, you can either call Oscar through your phone and request work, but I just spawned in my hangar, so that's where I'm going to be requesting the work from. I'm going to be doing it right from the computer. And the reason is we're going to be lobby surfing to go back and forth between doing Oscar work, and then when we have the 5-minute cooldown, we can do a security contract or the Junk Energy Skydives, which are double money. I'm going to be doing the security contract grind today because the Junk Energy Skydives, while they are double money, I don't really want to just skydive in between. I want to actually like do an actual mission. And so what you could do is both of these have 5-minute cooldowns, security contracts and Oscar work. So you could cycle those missions back and forth, alternate between them, avoid a cooldown on both most of the time. You know, maybe you have to wait like a minute after, you know, completing a security contract before you can do another Oscar work if you get like a really fast Oscar work done and then also a really fast security contract. But either way, we are going to go to the request work category. Now, before we actually begin, let me just tell you about these missions themselves. There's 4 different types of missions with 5 variations each. One of them has you destroying the rival shipments, which will make you $30,000 with single money, so $60,000 with double. If you have to deliver the weapons, that pays you $40,000 normally, so $80,000 with double money. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be delivering the weapons, which is, funny enough, the longest variant of the missions that you could possibly do. I'll just get one done so you can see, but this one is going to take a little bit of time, especially when you start from the hangar, because we probably need to go to the top of Mount Chiliad, which you can get your Iron Mule or Cargo Bob, for example, and deliver these, but it's still going to take you a few minutes. Actually, the drop zone is this way, so actually this is going to be a little bit better than going to Mount Chiliad. I did not want to drive all the way up there. This one, I'm just going to take the Ratel over. You can take a heli to move this thing, but basically, we need to go to the drop zone, collect a weapon crate, and then drive to 3 different destinations to drop the weapons caches off. Like I said, this one pays you $40,000 with single money. That's going to be $80,000 with double money. The third mission variant is stealing the weapons, paying $30,000 normally. That'll be $60,000 this week with double money. And then stealing the Duster 300H normally is going to pay you $40,000 to $50,000. With double money, that's $80,000 to $100,000. So that's really nice right there. All of those missions right there, those are the single and double money payouts. So we're going to make some decent money from that. And also don't forget about the weekly challenge. The reason I want to do 5 Oscar Guzman work today is because with the weekly challenge, you do 5 arms trafficking missions, which we're doing. We'll make $100,000 on top of all the extra double money we're making. Plus we'll get the Buckingham t-shirt as well. And like I said, just to reiterate here, this is probably the mission that you don't want to do. If there's going to be any mission you want to just load into a new lobby and try to get a new variant of, it's this mission, just because it takes the longest. You know, it'll take you probably over 5 minutes, between 5 and 10 minutes. You could speed it up a little bit with a heli, but honestly, you gotta like steal a flare gun, you gotta wait for the plane to pass by. I think I actually removed the flare gun from my inventory, that's why it's telling me to steal it, but I'll pick up this flare gun. We need to call the plane over, and then we have to wait a second because it's gotta fly over, drop the crates for us, and then we gotta pick them up and drive them to all the destinations. So here's the plane coming in. It's gonna drop a crate, and it dropped it over here for some reason on the edge of the hill. I shot the flare gun on the other side, so now this thing's gonna go sliding down. But we're gonna grab it, and now we're gonna get 3 destinations for our weapons that are gonna pop up. The weapon locations on this mission are over here in Sandy Shores and around the surrounding area. So this one we can actually finish, and it won't take super long. So I'll see you guys at the drop points Obviously, on the way, you're going to have, like, helis chasing you, enemies pursuing you, the classic standard GTA Online side content, side work. But honestly, even if you're not even flying the Iron Mule or a cargo bob to deliver these faster, then it doesn't really matter, because these guys aren't going to damage you enough. All right, this is weapon drop-off number 1, on to number 2. Weapon drop number 2, now we just have the last one to make. Here's the final weapon drop-off. Now, once we drop off the weapons one last time, we just need to leave the area to get our payout. There we go, $80,000 for my recording timer before even starting the mission. It's a full 7-minute, 45-second clip, but of course I was sitting in the hangar talking for a little bit, so this was probably a 5-minute mission. Now that the mission's over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my spawn location from the Mackenzie Field hangar, and I'm going to go to my agency, because now what I'm going to do is start up a security contract and do one of those, and then when we're done, we're going to go back and do the second Oscar work. So I'm not going to showcase the security contracts. This video isn't about that. They're not on bonus, but I will tally up at the end how much money we made from everything, and this can show you if it's a good grind for doing this week or not. Just finished my first security contract. We're about to start up the second Oscar Guzman work. I just did a vehicle recovery for $66,600 on Specialist Plus difficulty. So now let's get started with Oscar work number 2. So stealing the weapons normally is going to be paying out $30,000, but with double money, it's paying out $60,000. I just called my Oppressor Mark II. My Akula isn't available yet because I used it for the security contract, but we could just fly over to Mount Josiah and get this done real fast. I'm really hoping while we go through this, I can show you the Destroy Rival shipments as well as the Steal the Duster 300H. Because in my head, when I was reading Steal the Weapons, I thought that was the Rival Shipments mission, but this is the second worst one, so third best, technically. Deliver the Weapons the worst, this one's the second worst. Then I would say the Duster 300H, then the Rival Shipments, just because of how fast that goes by. So there's just a group of enemies we gotta clear out. You can kind of just get into the Iron Mule if you want. You don't need to clear out the enemies, but of course, you know me, I like getting into a nice gunfight in this game. You don't have to worry about dying or anything like that. There's no limited lives. But once we kill these guys, let's go. All right, let's steal this Iron Mule. And now what we need to do is pick up the weapons with the Iron Mule hook. So just fly it over, be careful so you can actually grab your cargo. And with a little bit of finesse, you can grab it and then just fly it back to the field hangar. Once again, you'll have some enemies pursuing you on ground vehicles or in helicopters, but you don't need to worry about it. This Iron Mule is quick enough, way better than the cargo bob for moving equipment and cargo. Back at the Mackenzie Field hangar, let's deliver this cargo. Gotta watch out so you don't crash into the hangar like I did, but just hit right on the D-pad. Weapons are delivered, $70,000. Right there, which is pretty nice. So now once again, let's do our second security contract while we have 5 minutes. Now you can skip these cooldowns as well for the Oscar Guzman work with a little bit of a trick, but if you just want to farm some extra money in the meantime just to keep things interesting, run security contracts or try out some other content like terabyte client jobs or something in the meantime as well. All right, so we are going to start up Oscar work number 3. We just did our second security contract, making $40,500 from recovering valuables for our agency business. So now we're going to jump back into the third mission and see if we can get a good one. I'd love to do rival shipments, and that's exactly what we're going to get. So that is awesome. This is going to be a really fast mission to do. What I recommend is, you know, you can use any vehicle you want. You can use your FH1 Hunter, your Akula, both of those are discounted this week. You can use your Oppressor Mark II, you can use your Sparrow, you can use your Buzzard. Anything like that is going to work just fine. Since I didn't want to run down the runway because the Akula and the Hunter are going to spawn at the end of it, your Sparrow or your Buzzard or Oppressor Mark II are probably going to be just fine. That is if you're starting work from the hangar and not just like on the go by calling Oscar. I just like doing this because I'm loading into a new session anyway. I don't want to fly all the way from my agency. I mean, I guess I could do it anyway. That would probably be easier, starting ones in the free room. So I may do that. Next time we do an agency security contract after this, I'll just call Oscar and we'll see if we can kind of get through the missions faster that way and do some of them in the city rather than flying around out here. So here's the first rival shipment we got to blow up. I'm just going in guns blazing with the Akula, and not a single one of those homing missiles hit. So let's go in for a second pass. There we go. He's destroyed. Moving on to number 2. Let's take out this second arm shipment. Any explosive weaponized vehicle, any of that's going to work. You can even just go and drive around if you want to keep the game entertaining and you don't want to use, you know, overpowered, armored, and weaponized aircraft, stuff like that. Drive around in your new Invitero Coquette D5. Do whatever you want, you know. We're just going to do that to speed this up just to see if I could do these missions any faster and make some money at a faster pace. So let's just barrage the heck out of these guys with the homing missiles. This van's actually driving away, but not going to be enough for him. Rival shipment number 4. destroyed, and we just have one more, and we're gonna get this done basically in 3 minutes right here. And the last one. Van's driving away. He knows all of his buddies have been taken out. I will say the tracking on these Akula missiles are a lot worse than I was expecting, but there we go. Took out the last shipment. Now let's just leave the area and get our payout. Should be faster to fly away with this heli rather than just driving. So destroying the rival shipment, $60,000 for Oscar work and the arms trafficking mission number 3. Well, after earning another $33,000 from recovering valuables once again for my agency, now what I'm going to do is call up good old Oscar and let's request our 4th work mission from him, and hopefully we get a good variant. Destroy the rival shipments again. I'm so happy. This is the fastest and best mission you could possibly do, and it pays really, really well too. All of them are up north in Sandy Shores and Grapeseed by the Mackenzie Airfield hangar. I haven't actually got a variant in the city yet. I was hoping if I called him on the phone I was in the city maybe, but maybe I have to be on my phone and be somewhere else. Either way, easy work, light work for the Sparrow. Let's just fly over there and finish this. Now finally, we are approaching the 5th and final shipment. This mission's taken us 3 minutes so far. Somehow I missed that on that pass. How did that just happen right there? Let's try again. The Sparrow missiles never fail, but they did fail me there. Now let's just leave the area. So yeah, it's going to be about 3 minutes, 30 seconds for this mission. $60,000 flat once again. Super fast, super easy. Now let's do our 4th security contract. Back at the Mackenzie hangar, we just did our 4th security contract for $33,000. It was another recover valuables on professional difficulty. Now let's start up the 5th and final Oscar Guzman work right here. And this one, we're going to be stealing the Duster 300H, which is awesome because now you get to see all variants of the missions in this video. We've done deliver weapons, steal weapons, 2 rival shipments. Now let's do the Duster mission. This one's over right by my farmhouse bunker. I don't want to shoot my missiles on my buzzard. I'm gonna land and take these guys out on foot. To be honest, play these missions however you want. I just know after using that Iron Mule and almost blowing it up by accident because I was using missiles on the oppressor and I was like, it's not gonna damage this heli. Like, there's plenty of cargo and vehicles in the game that you need to steal that you could basically shoot directly with missiles and nothing would happen. But that time it did, so I don't want to risk it with this Duster. Killed everyone. Now let's get in this Duster and make those drop-offs. All right, so we have 3 weapon deliveries. We have 2 helis chasing us. Once again, we're probably just not going to engage with them because we have some drop-offs to do, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check the map. Okay, they're kind of spread out. We got 1, 2. Where's the 3rd? All the way up north. Okay. This Duster is honestly kind of fast, too. I mean, it's still a prop plane, but we're moving way faster than the normal Duster, I can tell you that much. This plane feels very quick for what it is. Here's drop-off number 1. You want to make sure you're low enough to drop the weapons. You don't want to make sure you're too high, or you want to avoid being too high. So that's number 1. Let's head on over to location number 2. Location drop-off number 2, or location number 2 drop-off, coming right up. That, for some reason, that crate hit the plane. It didn't despawn under it. That's weird. It damaged the plane. The windows broke. And here is the final drop-off. So let's drop that crate. Now here's where we should get our call from Oscar. And he'll ask if we want to keep the plane and also make $50,000 for doing so by delivering this back to the hangar. So that is what we want to do. We do want to return the Duster 300H and earn additional income. That additional income is $50,000. I want to see if that's doubled this week too or not. Coming in for landing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going way too fast. Oh my god. Hold on. Hold on. This is not good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, how am I going to get this plane out of here? Yikes. Don't be an idiot like me and almost crash the plane and fail the mission right at the end. Make sure you're going into the runway very slowly. But now that the Duster is delivered, let's see our final payoff for that. $100,000 from that mission. And now remember, we also completed the weekly challenge. So we should be getting $100,000 from that as well. Complete 5 arms trafficking missions. $100,000. So we made $100,000 from the weekly challenge. Let's total up everything. All right, check this out. This is really impressive here. Let's tally up our Oscar Guzman work total and the security contract total, because I just did a 5th and final security contract for $35,000. From our Oscar Guzman work, we made $80,000 for delivering the weapons, $70,000 for stealing weapons, $60,000 for destroying rival shipments, another $60,000 for destroying rival shipments, $100,000 for the Duster 300H, plus the 100K bonus for the weekly challenge that also unlocks the Buckingham t-shirt as well. So $200,000 from the last mission. The grand total, or the total I should say, for the Oscar work was 470 grand. This took us 50 minutes, by the way, because we had 5-minute cooldowns on basically 5 minutes worth of missions, or 5-minute missions on the Oscar work, but we also did security contracts during the Oscar work cooldown. Now, if you want to bypass it, you just have to be in a lobby with your friends. You can leave the lobby when they're in your organization, and then you could play it on their organization, and basically they could start another one up and you can continuously farm these. But that being said, with security contracts, our first security contract was a $66,600 vehicle recovery. We did 3 recover valuables for $40,500, $33,500, as well as $33,000, all on professional difficulty. On our final security contract I just did to even it out, 5 Oscar work, 5 security contracts, in case you want to keep looping these forever, $35,000 vehicle recovery. We made $208,500 from security contracts. Combined $208,500 with $470,000, that's a grand total of $678,500 from Oscar work plus other missions in the meantime, in less than 1 hour of playtime. That is how good these missions are, how potent these missions are. Even if you don't do anything else but the Oscar work, you're still making almost 500 grand in an hour. You do a Cluck and Bell farm raid in 45 minutes, you make 500 grand. You can do Oscar work, take an hour, realistically take 50 minutes actually, and there you go. You're making $470,000. And honestly, it'll probably take you less than 50 minutes because that's just me saying on average 5 minutes per Oscar work. Some of them take you 3 minutes, some of them take you 6, some of them you could finish in 2.5, obviously, if you get a really lucky one. So super good for making money this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely highly recommend you farm Oscar work, and on the cooldown, you know, do setups for your garment factory or auto shop or security contracts, pay phone hits, terabyte client jobs, you know, check away at Cayo Perico setups or Dr. Dre contract setups or Cluck and Bell farm raid, or even, you know, the actual Oscar Guzman flies again missions as well if you want to try those, since those are new. But yes, super good this week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one.